All right, League 2.0. This is what, our second podcast officially?
Yes.
Conclusion of week one. It's me, Charlie, with Kyle, and we have a special guest today, Matt Winter. How's it going?
Hello. It's going well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you on, man. It should be a lot of fun. So what did you guys think of this past week? Did you guys catch the Bengals game by any chance?
Oh, must watch TV.
I believe I did catch that game, yes.
Oh, man. That was painful for me.
This week was a good example of why we don't have kickers.
Yes. Good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, screw those kickers. That was bad. There were so many missed kicks all over the league. Like that guy with the goggles on Indy, he got cut, right?
Yeah, Blanco-ship or whatever.
He got cut?
I don't know. Yeah, he got cut
No,
today.
cut, yeah. No more goggles.
He looks like a math nerd anyways. I always used to sign him in Madden for like 7 years, 500,000 a year or something.
My favorite is those kickers that have got like a bit of a gut. Like they're pretty big on the top. They're actually bigger in the top half than the bottom half. Like they're
Ashton Janikowski was a beast.
Yes,
that girthy dude with a girthy leg.
Oh man, we need more of those. I feel like they're all becoming. They actually look like kickers now, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's awful.
But that Giants game was pretty remarkable too, eh? Wow, starting the year 1-0.
Saquon's looking nice
on the new coach. I was ready to give him my left arm. He can have anything he wants.
I'm hearing like some on like the podcast I listen to, they're already saying that Saquon maybe is like worth of like a top 2 pick. Like pre-draft he was what, 15th ranked or something?
Like 17th, 15th, yeah.
Oh,
boy, do I regret not keeping him in. I should have let Joe Burrow go. I thought I'd have the guarantee option of having Saquon at 4. Or I thought I'd have a higher pick until Charlie threw 2 more teams on there to mess with me.
Never live that one down, eh?
No.
I loved it when he bashed his way into the end zone near the end of the game and he just whipped the football as soon as he got in there. I was like, oh my God, I love this.
He made that play happen. He was already contacted behind the line. He just was like, no, I'm getting in. Oh, I'd love to see that.
Shovel. Barkley breaks a tackle. Wow. Dives in for 2. Wow. Giants take the lead. 21-20 with 1:06 to play in the 4th.
Oh, man.
Giants are back.
Oh, no.
It looked better than Bird Gang.
Oh,
dude.
Did you watch that whole game, Winter? I really hope you didn't.
I couldn't. I mean, I kind of did. It was. I have a couple Chiefs on my team, so I mean, by the end of it, I was like, just throw another one to Kelsey. Like, this is embarrassing.
Oh yeah, true. Because you're just rooting for your fantasy team. You don't really care about the actual.
I hate the Arizona coach. Cliff Kingsbury needs to go. I don't. The air raid offense is not.
In
working.
defense of the Cardinals, they had no defense. Like they're all injured.
Yeah. It
showed.
Yeah,
they couldn't stop Mahomes at all. Speaking of coaching, last game to touch on here. Did you guys catch that Monday night game?
That's the real kicker.
I was literally sleeping.
That's the real kicking story of the week, right? It's like, let's what was it, like 64 yards or something? It's like something insane.
Yeah.
64, yeah. But the Manning cast is the best part. Peyton Manning tried to call timeout for like a minute straight.
We got 3 timeouts, E. I might use one right here, E. Let's use one. Let's talk about this one. They might try to draw. They can try to draw them off sides. Might try to draw them off sides, E.
You don't have that much time.
Snap count.
You don't want to waste that much time, I don't think.
Yeah, I think we should call timeout, like now.
I think they're running a play. They look unsettled. Sutton doesn't know what he's doing. Hurry up. Time out.
What the? So you just burned 30 seconds to call a timeout?
Just come on.
I saw that.
Just call a timeout here, guys.
So yeah, funny. I heard something like there was like a 4.9% chance he would hit that field goal and like a 45% chance they get a first down on that.
Apparently he's attempted like 10 60-plus yard kicks in his career, and he's hit one of them.
Oh man,
why would you that's not a very good percentage. Like,
yeah,
you had time on the clock.
That was a bizarre. a bizarre game.
I think I saw a quote today that the coach came out and said he regrets not going for it.
Yeah,
it was like immediately after. Yeah.
You know, looking back at it, we definitely should have gone for it. Just not, you know, one of those things. You look back at it and you say, of course we should go for it. We missed the field goal.
Yeah. He's like, we should have done it. We should have gone for it. It's like, yeah, you should have. You just paid $125 million or something for
$250 million for Russ now.
Oh.
It's
okay.
Yeah, it was a weird game. I watched the whole thing. Denver looked weirdly. I don't know. The run game looked unreal, but they could not generate much like through the air. So
I don't want to talk about their run game.
Why not?
The Broncos run game?
Yeah.
Because Javonte Williams broke my heart.
Oh yeah, crap! Oh,
I was wondering too. I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, the spew. Wow, they got their first win. I think this might be the first year they've ever won the first game of the year. I don't know if that's true, but feels like it.
He was 4-0, I believe, last year to start.
Oh yeah, he was, and then he just
won
off
in
a
12
cliff.
or something. Yeah.
It's because he loves those like third, fourth tier wide receivers. He'll drop like a starter for some. I don't know. He probably liked Isaiah McKenzie like 3 years ago when he was like a sixth string of Buffalo. I don't know. He digs a little too deep, I think sometimes. Anyways, let's dive in. Let's talk about. So there's been a bunch of injuries, which obviously impacted the waiver wire. Like there were some huge ones. So we had Dak Prescott got a hand injury. He had surgery like immediately. I think the day after. He's supposed to be out 6 weeks. That's crazy. Like, how do you think that's going to affect Dallas and all their fantasy studs?
Well, I think they're gonna be pretty bad now. Like CeeDee Lamb already looked kind of not really involved, and the running game didn't look great. They have no line. Like, I think it's gonna be a mess in Dallas this year. That's why I dropped Michael Gallup. He was on my IR, and he wasn't IR eligible anymore, so I just dropped him.
Yeah, it's pointless to hold him, man.
Yeah.
What do you think, Winter?
I mean, they're in trouble unless Cooper Rush can resurrect that team somehow, but it ain't gonna happen. They're gonna be an ugly watch for the next. Well, nobody knows for how long, right? It started. The first thing that they said was he's gonna be back like week 9 or 10. Now
was it his throwing hand too?
I think so.
Yeah.
So even if he does come back, he won't be the same this year.
Yeah. It's ugly. It's unfortunate. That one really hurt one of the new teams, that hurt Captain Cook. He has Dak and he spent a lot for Dalton Schultz. Like he's a little bit rattled right now. I know that.
I bet, yeah.
We also have sorry.
I was just gonna say, did he swoop in and get another QB?
He picked up 2 today, I believe.
Which we will touch on. We will actually I didn't write down, but we will touch on that. Yeah, I think he got Kirk Cousins, I think.
And Ryan Tannehill, I believe.
Whoa, he doubled up?
I'm pretty sure he got picked up 2 guys.
He has Tua. He's starting Tua.
It's Tua and Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, that's spicy. I like it.
Yeah, he's sneaky. He knows what he's doing over there. Then we also had one of my boys, T. Higgins. He left with a concussion. And apparently he can't rejoin the Bengals on the practice field until Thursday. So that's a big boom for like Tyler Boyd will be very valuable. And obviously my guy.
Like this Thursday, you mean? Like he can return tomorrow?
Yeah, like he can return to practice. Like he has to be sidelined until Thursday, I guess, with concussion protocol.
We really don't actually know how he's feeling then. He could just be there tomorrow and be good to go.
He could, or he could be in a dark room for the next month.
Mark Savard style.
Yeah, exactly. So that one sucks. There are some big names. Also, Keenan Allen. He has a hamstring injury. He's not playing Thursday night, I heard.
He's not playing tomorrow. That hurts the Chargers. That's a big game tomorrow.
Next man up, buddy.
Who is Keenan Allen? I don't know offhand.
Maybe
I should have.
Wally.
I think it's Riley.
Oh, I think yeah, he is. I'm playing him this week.
Oh no, Riley. Also Najee Harris, he had a foot injury, but apparently he is going to play on Sunday. But that's kind of
apparently didn't he tweet out? Yeah, I'm playing or something like it's just
no
question. He's in.
But that's like the second time I think since in the offseason he was hurt too. So
yeah,
he's off to a bit of a rocky start. Hopefully he figures it out. Chris Godwin has had a hamstring injury. There's no timetable for his return, so that kind of sucks. But might make
he
Julio
just came
Jones
back from a hamstring injury as well, right?
Yeah, so that's really
the problem.
worrisome. Yeah. So Julio Jones looked pretty good though. Did you guys see him in that first game? Holy moly!
He was electric. I liked it.
And they were using him for like end. I don't think I've ever seen him used like that. He was he had a couple rushing plays. It's kind of neat.
Interesting. I didn't watch
And then
much of that game, so
probably the biggest injury, at least for fantasy, was Elijah Mitchell. He's going to miss 2 months with a knee injury. So Jeff Wilson, he's probably taking over the load there. And obviously, you'd think he'd be a hot ticket item, but wow.
no one was interested except someone who paid $22.
So with that, we'll slide right into the waiver wire. So Jeff Wilson, I thought he would be the big bid. You know, I thought everyone would be in on him because he's going to be a starter on a very run heavy team, and
which is why I paid up.
I think, yeah. I know Gavin said that he thought he knew he wouldn't bid enough to get him, and I felt the same way. So, oh god, sorry, I threw my mouse. But yeah, that was pretty wild. Curtis Samuel apparently was the hot ticket item though. Everyone was in on him, eh?
Yeah, and I also got him, so I'm feeling pretty good. A little later in my fab pocket, but I never used it anyways, so I figured might as well just use it when the players are available who might make an impact for me. Every year I just sit there like, there'll be a better guy later. There's never a better guy. And then Cordero Patterson puts Wally in second place last year after we picked him up in the waivers. I didn't think Cordero Patterson was important enough next year to pick up last year.
I didn't even look at that name. I was like, oh.
He went after him early in the draft this year too. He likes him,
and he's played incredibly.
And he rewarded him. Yeah,
he was so good in week 1.
Maybe Wally's got an insider or something.
Oh, he's onto something. He knows his stuff.
But that Curtis Samuel one's nice because you spent $11, and then some guy also in this podcast he put in $10, so you win by $1. That's nice.
Oh, were you the one that put 10? Oh man,
I was. I don't know. I mean, there's bids where it's like you're just totally devastated that you were $1 off, but for this one, it's like I can live with it. You know,
I literally put 10 in at first, and I was like, nah, 11. Someone else can put 10. It's round.
That's your favorite number, right?
That was part of that. Was actually a big part of why it changed to 11.
That's an important detail. Take that to the bank next time. 11.
Yeah, Charlie, you can share that information.
I also noticed Mike Davis was picked up by Riley for $6. No one else bid on him, obviously. That was a bit weird. Does he know something?
No. I think he knows nothing. I think that's the problem.
Oh, no.
Because he was outsnapped by a freshly acquired Kenyon Drake last week. Not that Kenyon Drake was good by any means, but he played a lot more than Mike Davis. And I believe he could have had Kenyon Drake. He still could.
Yeah, oh my god, he probably could still. And I believe J.K. Dobbins is he had his first. He's a full participant, is how they say it. So
he'll probably play this week in some capacity.
Exactly. So it's getting Mike Davis is looking less and less valuable. So I think he just burned $6 of his fab. Unfortunately,
I'm looking at his roster trying to rationalize it, and I don't really see why he did that. I mean, I think he must have hit the Elijah Mitchell panic button, right? And he just went for something. So.
Oh, maybe. Interesting. And then Gavin, I thought he had a little sneaky pickup. He picked up Tyrion Davis-Price, who's on the 49ers. I think he spent $5. Which...
Third-round pick, I believe. He's going to be heavily involved, potentially, right? If Wilson looks rough, they will pivot right away. I won't be surprised.
And hasn't Wilson been injured in the past, too? So
I guess most of last year. He came back, I believe, in like week 10 and didn't look great. And then he had a huge week 15, I think, and then nothing much else. But he's been a good player in the past for them. He's been hurt. So he's kind of a wild card. And if he looks bad, I'm sure they'll go right to Davis-Price.
Gotcha.
That's a nice little pick. Yeah.
Overall, it looked like there was a lot of just small bids. Like I guess there wasn't anything too exciting that anyone was willing to spend a crazy amount, except for Jeff Wilson, I guess. I know Finney picked up a couple quarterbacks. He picked up Tua, but he didn't have to spend anything for him.
No.
I thought this was an interesting grab. Was Taysom Hill? What do you guys think of him? Because he's eligible as a tight end.
Yeah,
Isn't that interesting?
It's
That's the
intriguing.
only reason he is valuable to me.
Like, imagine somehow, like, what if Winston gets hurt and he ends up playing quarterback again, but you can put him in as your tight end?
That would be very, very good.
That'd be a glitch.
I was talking to somebody though, and they were saying that even if there is an injury, their next man up is Andy Dalton, not.
I forgot they had Andy Dalton.
Yeah, so it's a confusing
good point.
situation.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. So Taysom really is just
that
backup
role.
running back, sort of. I don't know, which
Yeah.
still could have value. So I considered picking him up, but I was like, I don't know.
I think they're going to generate touches for him every game, a limited amount of touches. It's whatever he does with them will warrant if he was worth it. He'll probably only get 5 or 6 touches a game, but they're guaranteed, I think, to get at least 5 because they want him in the game in some capacity.
Yeah, exactly. He's
The first game they put him in, and then he just ran the ball like 3-4 times in a row, or like
and scored a touchdown.
yeah, it was nice.
He was that whole drive.
Yeah. He's a handy little gadget player. I like it.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll move on to the top scorers of the week. Let's move in on the QBs here. So Patrick Mahomes looks like he's back to his old ways, eh? Did you guys? Well, obviously, Winter, you caught a lot of that. He looked impressive.
He was,
or was that just
chilling back there? There was no pressure on him,
yeah,
like, at all.
At all.
So maybe it just looked like the best game ever for him, kind of thing.
He's still good. He's sick, so
Yeah, he's still a great quarterback. His weapon, I think this might be one of his best games of the year. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Right, unfortunately,
his weapons aren't what they were. And yes, Travis Kelce is still Travis Kelce, but he is older, and maybe by the end of the year he might slow down a little bit.
I did hear that he, not to scare you, Winter, but apparently he used to be out there for like almost every snap, and they're starting to wean it back a little bit. You know, they're taking him off the field a little bit more. So
it's hard to be worried, though. I mean, he put up like 20 plus points.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think there's a legitimate argument to be made.
And he's the only.
Sorry,
he's
go
the only
ahead.
true. Well, yeah, he's like the only true superstar receiving threat on that team now, right? So
Yeah,
he's gonna get his.
The rest of their offense is like totally diversified now, right? It's like
Exactly.
they could be like there's an argument to be made that they might be better now, or it's like
Yeah.
you know,
'Cause how do you know? You don't know who to defend. You can't who do you double team, right? Like it's kind of interesting.
All their weapons can make plays with Mahomes putting the ball in the right spot. So
with
does over and over again.
With that game, do you think it was a pretty good draft pick by this the shit take poo? He took him pretty early. He took him early.
He shouted it out too. Remember when he drafted him? He just yelled it out. I was like,
it was a power move.
He did. He was feeling it at that point. He was very confident. And then he followed up. I think the next round he took Juju, which was a little less exciting, but
very much less exciting.
The number 2 QB of the week was Josh Allen. He had a huge game on that was Thursday night, right?
With a huge stiff arm. That's all that matters.
Oh, man, that guy's a tank. He's fearless, eh? Absolutely fearless. But
and
I guess that's
stiff arm. You saw him like laughing, like running back to the play. He's like laughing because he's a psychopath.
As a QB, he is, right? Like you're trained to kind of avoid contact, and he wants it. It's really bizarre.
He's a big man too. He's huge.
Oh my god, he's gigantic. So do you guys think like he's kind of on his way to be the number 1 QB? I think.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
It's kind of hard to argue that with his running ability. He had 56 rush yards. Like
he's got all the weapons.
Yeah, the Bills looked insanely dominant.
Yeah.
When I was watching that game, part of me was thinking, I don't even know if he's trying at 100%. Like, there's more in the tank, like for sure.
I think you're right.
It's scary.
Yeah.
When the Chiefs and Bills play each other, I don't know if they have a matchup in the regular season or not, but I mean,
I'm pretty sure they do.
That's going to be epic.
The over-under is going to be 80 on that game.
and it'll go over probably.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the third best quarterback of the week was Carson Wentz for the Washington Commanders. Unbelievable. He had 4 touchdowns through the air.
Ridiculous.
Like, I no one picked him up. Like no one believes what happened. They're like they don't trust it, so I don't trust it.
No,
he's gonna have to have a lot more successful weeks to prove himself. But that's a good debut for him and with his new team.
But he has weapons that can make plays in the open field. I don't think he threw that many air yards. I think a lot of his yards were his receivers making plays, or his backs, or they're all incredible athletes on that team.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, like that offense might be. I think we might have all underestimated their ability.
I think so.
Right?
At the very least, you're tuning into the next Washington game for sure to see what you do.
That's a good point. Yeah, they're especially if Curtis Samuel becomes a player, and they've got a really, really solid crew. All right, so the running backs, we have Saquon Barkley leading the charge. What do you think of that, Kyle? What do you think of that?
It hurts my heart. In one
Did you
way.
watch
It also brings me extreme joy in another. Yes, of course I did. When he busted that 70-yard run, I was been running around the apartment. and then sad after because
he looked like the old Saquon, and it looked like they were going to use him more properly. I guess their offense looked a lot better.
Their line looked a lot better. Andrew Thomas looks incredible, and they're actually Evan Neal actually struggled in the first game as the right tackle, but he's a top pick, and the first couple games are always tough for linemen. But I bet you he'll figure it out. They should be a better offense.
Okay,
limited by Daniel Jones, but running wise, Saquon Barkley probably have. And I think Matt Breida actually got hurt today in practice, the backup. So Saquon might even be featured more next week.
Jeez. Oh wow, that's ridiculous. And that he's owned by DeAndre the Giant. Yes. And the number 2 running back for the week, of course, is Jonathan Taylor.
Let's go.
Owned by yours truly, Matthew Jacob Winter. Yeah, what do you think of that, buddy? Did he look good?
I mean, I think he had 22 carries for 102 yards. So, I mean, and a touchdown. I can live with that for sure. And in fact, I'm quite positive.
Didn't he have 31 carries for 161 yards?
Yeah, he ended up with a lot more yards.
He tuned out in the third quarter and didn't look back.
I think that's exactly right. I mean, that kind of plays to my point. It's like the plug and playness, ability that Jonathan Taylor facilitates is amazing. It's like I don't even have to worry about it. It's quite nice.
Yeah, it feels like a standard 20 plus points every week from him.
He got 30 carries. Ooh,
31,
baby.
I think. Crazy.
Let's go.
Then the number 3 running back was a nifty one, DeAndre Swift, which the team DeAndre the Giant was named after. Wow,
looked great.
He had two touchdowns stolen by Jamal Williams,
and he actually only played I think 56% of snaps, which is crazy with what he did in the amount of carries he had.
Wow, yeah, he looks explosive.
The big worry for me about DeAndre was that Williams is going to be involved because Detroit. The team loves that player. Yeah. They love his heart. They love what he brings. And he's probably going to get all the goal line carries. Which is the biggest downfall of DeAndre. But when he's putting up these numbers, it doesn't matter.
Can you imagine being that running back? Like, you look so good. You get it down to the 1 yard line, and then they take you out. Like, it's just so... I don't know. It's such a weird concept. Like, why... I don't know. I feel like it's not like in the old days you had what? Oh, my God. Who is the running back for the Steelers? That big bus. What was it?
Jerome Bettis.
Jerome Bettis. See, if it's him, I understand. Like, you just run straight up the middle. He's getting in there. But nowadays,
he was 6'1", 280.
Oh no, 280.
I don't know how big he was, but I remember when I used to watch him. That's what I used to think because I think we were probably in high school then.
Yeah, but I feel like they just label guys as a goal line. Like, I don't know. Why can't DeAndre Swift be the guy who runs it? It's unfortunate.
I don't think it's not that he can't. I think they just want to use 2 running backs to keep him healthy.
Yeah.
Because the goal line, you're going to get hit hard.
You get hit harder than...
Oh. Well, I think they blitz off. On the 1 yard line, they know you're going to run most of the time, so they send everything. True.
Yeah,
there's a good chance someone's going to line you up.
Interesting. That's an interesting take. Wow. You know your stuff.
It's debatable.
I take it back.
Came in last place last year.
But that's quite a 2-head monster for DeAndre the Giant. They got Saquon Barkley and DeAndre Swift.
So good.
That's nasty. That's
really should have taken.
And they have Antonio Gibson, who everyone made fun of them for, and he's looking all right.
It's 1 week. We'll see.
Yeah, I know.
He's one fumble away from being on the punt team again.
Good point. All right, on to the wide receivers. We had the number 1 wide receiver of the week, Justin Jefferson, who
hands down the best receiver in football.
How was he so open for so many catches?
And he was against a good corner for most of them. Like Jair Alexander is good. On that big play that I saw all over the internet, he was wide open. He just got turned around off on the cut. He was so open. But that should never happen.
No. Do you guys think that Justin Jefferson might be like the new Cooper Kupp kind of thing, or do you think this is just kind of a 1 week?
I think Cooper Kupp's the new Cooper Kupp still.
Whoa!
He had 15 targets in week 1.
He did.
I don't think that's going to change.
15 targets, 13 receptions. That's insanity. And
I think they're going to be the top.
Allen Robinson had 2.
Yeah, you almost feel bad. It's like throwing the ball, give him another chance.
It's because he doesn't go to breakfast with Stafford.
That's it. That's what we've heard. That's the key. So Cooper Kupp, owned by Riley, was the second best wide receiver of the week. He did his usual. And then number 3 was Devontae Adams, who the shit take poo took with their first pick. He had 17 targets.
Yeah, I should have picked him over Aaron Jones in hindsight. But no, I actually shouldn't have. I needed a running back, but a great game for Devontae. He kind of got rid of the doubts I had about him going to a new team.
Yeah, you're worried about that.
I was, because sometimes it just doesn't work out.
But yeah, those doubts.
Hunter Renfrow is nothing now. I mean, he's in trouble, fantasy wise. It's I don't think there's not enough meat on that bone. So
no, not with Darren Waller there too, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he have a game last year in week 1 with 17 targets too? I think Waller, or was it 19?
He had 100 targets in the first 5 games. It was.
Oh my god.
I'm definitely exaggerating, but it was nuts. And then I think halfway through the year, it just completely changed.
Dried up.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about tight ends, I guess. So the number 1 tight end was Travis Kelce, owned by you, Winter. He had his usual 121 yards and a touchdown.
Textbook. He could have had more too, but I mean, they wanted to take it a little easy on the cards there at the end.
They felt bad.
Then we had OJ Howard. He had 16.8 fantasy points. This is what I was talking about, with snap counts and all that.
Yeah.
OJ Howard only had 2 targets, 2 receptions, 38 yards, both touchdowns. So it just boosted his score. But will he do that again?
I don't see that happening again this year.
No,
I liked him coming to college as a talent, but it hasn't been there.
He often becomes a blocking tight end, doesn't he?
Yes, because he's a great blocker. That's his biggest. Unfortunately, his biggest downfall in fantasy is that he's an incredible football player in other ways.
Mm-hmm. And then number 3 was Taysom Hill, which I touched on earlier. He could be interesting if he gets utilized a lot, in different ways.
Yep.
Especially as a tight end. Okay, we're gonna move on. This is a little thing I wanted to add in. I'm actually stealing it from another podcast. It's called the Worryometer. Basically, when I was looking through guys who are pretty decent draft picks that might be concerning, and I want to see if you guys think their futures might be a little bit bleak. So we'll start with CeeDee Lamb, who's owned by Bryce. He had 3.9 points. So would you guys be concerned if you were a CeeDee Lamb owner?
Super concerned.
You have to be, yeah.
Do you think he's going to fall out? He's supposed to be a top 5 wide receiver. Do you think he's going to fall out of top 10? Do you think he'll be top 15?
Yeah. Maybe a wide receiver too.
Oof, that's tough. That's really tough.
I guess I don't know very much about Cooper Rush, but just their line, I don't think he'll ever have enough time to get open down the field.
Yeah.
Especially with no Gallup there right now.
Yeah, he didn't even look amazing before Dak was bounced out of the game. So there's definitely cause for concern.
Okay, how about Alvin Kamara? He only had 6.1 points, which isn't the worst, but it's not great for what is supposed to be a first round draft pick. I think he kept him as a first round draft. Yeah.
I think
so that's Wally.
I'm not worried. I'm worried, maybe slightly worried, but he'll be involved in that team. I think he might have been banged up a little bit or something, but I'm not worried about him.
It's weird to see him only have 7 receiving yards. That was bizarre to me.
Maybe Jameis doesn't throw to the running back as much. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of question marks with that Saints offense, I think.
Yeah. I think they were saying that he had a rib thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they were maybe taking it easy on him.
move.
What do you guys think about Mike Williams, owned by DeAndre the Giants? He only had 2
Not
points.
worried in the slightest. He's going to
only
put
had 10
20 this
yards.
week.
Well, yeah, with Keenan Allen
Yeah.
out, like he obviously becomes a huge,
Yeah,
priority in that offense.
it's hard to be worried at this moment.
He would have been fine even if Keenan Allen was healthy. It's like
Yeah,
Herbert's slinging the
if
ball.
if
Like,
Allen was healthy, I still wouldn't be worried at this point.
Yeah,
This is
I
what he
would
does.
say
He's a streaky player. He'll have 4 weeks of top 5 and then disappear for a few weeks.
I think my biggest worry with Mike Williams is always injury. It felt
Yes.
like his first few years of his career, he was always hurt. So that would be my bigger fear, but who knows? Anyways, Allen Robinson, owned by Shit Take Poo. He only had 1.7 points, 2 targets, 1 reception. Would you guys be concerned about him?
I am a little bit concerned, but I'd still be starting him because they paid him a lot of money. Sean McVay went out to get him, but based on some of the routes he ran, he was open. Stafford just didn't look his way, so I feel like you shouldn't worry too much about him again. Too much yet until if he does this a few weeks in a row, then maybe worry. But for now, I think it's okay.
Okay.
would you say that the concern is rooted more in where he was picked in our draft, second
Yes,
round?
yes, yeah.
Like,
And because of trauma from previous years, like it's hard to not be a little bit worried because of the past, but there is some optimism there. I still believe. He was a second round pick.
I feel like your mic is a little bit on the louder side there, Kyle. Did you make an adjustment between?
I did not change a thing.
Oh, okay.
I'll just talk quieter.
You're just extra excited now. All right, well, yeah, I agree with you. I'm not concerned about Allen Robinson yet, although he was absolute crap last year. So I personally don't like him because he ruined me last year. But you can definitely see the potential. Like he screams like a top end wide receiver in his build, in the way he plays. Like he's everything you'd want. It's just, why can't he put it together? Like I think he will. Anyways, on to Dameon Pierce, who was another, you could say, a bit of an earlier pick based on where,
Preseason hype.
Yes, big time preseason hype. So he had 4.4 points, and Sexy Rexy was just he was kind of, I wouldn't say he was dominating the workload, but he had a lot more than hoped. So
Yes.
Winter, are you concerned about your boy?
not even a little bit.
Whoa!
I'm on that hype train, baby. I'm starting him every week. Let's go. You can't, for a full season a full season's worth of work, you can't lose to Rexy. Like, come on. Like, he's going to put it together. Like, he's going to bash how many touchdowns through into the end zone at the goal line. We'll be okay.
Has
We'll be
Rex
all right.
Burkhead ever been a starter?
I don't think so. But
I
I
mean,
am concerned about Dameon Pierce.
Ooh, why's that?
I'm heavily concerned about Dameon Pierce.
How dare
Because
you.
he's not an early draft pick for the team. So they are usually, in those circumstances, they aren't as entitled to play them. And based on Houston and their talent and the offensive line and just that team, I don't think, even if he gets 20 carries, he might not be dominant ever. He might be okay some weeks, but I don't like what I saw. And like what Mark Ingram averaged like 25 carries per game last year and had like 31 yards a game. like I know Dameon Pierce is better than current Mark Ingram, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, Houston's a weird team, but I thought Dameon Pierce looked pretty good in the offseason, so I don't know.
Yes, agreed.
It is week 1, so
Agreed.
We'll see. I guess at least it's Rex Burkhead that he's competing with, and it's not someone of a lot higher quality. So,
which is why it's actually more concerning. Why are they giving the ball to him more? Like, what do they know that we don't?
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh boy. Okay, well, to speak of, I'd say this is even more concerning. What about Cam Akers of the Shit Take Poo? He had 0 points. I think he was on the field for like 3 play. Like, did he get 3 targets or 3? I don't even know. He didn't do anything though. It was obviously the Darrell Henderson show. Would you guys be concerned about Cam Akers, or do you think maybe they're just gonna slowly bring him in because he's coming back from that ACL? Although he did play in the playoffs last year,
and also looked bad last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think he's got to be the ultimate concern out of anyone, right? 0 yards. what is it, three carries? Like, I don't know. He doesn't look right.
Get Henderson to get all the work. Especially since Akers, like you said, played in the playoffs last year. You'd think he'd be more involved, but
I guess the
maybe
one
the
thing
team's outgrowing him. I don't know.
The one decent thing for Shit Take Poo is that he kept him, and he's an 8th round pick, so it's not
still
the end of the world. It's valuable, but it's not like he's not Allen Robinson. He needs Allen Robinson to be useful.
This is true.
How about Devontae Smith, who is owned by the Toronto Flatliners? He had 0 points on 4 targets, no catches.
Very strange. Who saw that coming? Very weird. I don't know. I don't know whether or not to be concerned about that. I don't think so.
I'm a little concerned because, again, like I said, the quarterback there only looks at one guy and then runs. So Hurts, if that's what he's going to do every game, sometimes he'll be looking Devonta Smith's way, but I think he's going to have some good games, but a lot of bad games.
Yeah, I would say AJ Brown was much more useful than I expected. Like, he was
bigger target. He's a dominant player. And
like, it almost feels like,
to be honest, Jalen Hurts isn't a good quarterback. He's a great fantasy quarterback.
Oh yeah, he's a cheat code.
Throws some really, really ugly balls.
Yes, 100%. 100%. I definitely took him knowing not the best to watch, but the final fantasy score is usually
going to be a top 5 QB.
Yeah. And then the last one, I wrote this down just to bash me. Robert Woods, Bobby Trees. He had 1 catch for 13 yards. That's it. He's supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver for the Titans. Should I be concerned?
Yes. But
you went after him. You were excited to get him too.
I still am. I
think he played like this in the week 1 last year as well.
With the Rams, yeah.
On the Rams, where people thought he was the number 1 option there at that point before Cooper Kupp's dominance.
Not last year.
Or maybe the year before. I don't remember.
But no, you're right. Last year he was kind of invisible to start the year.
Yeah, and then he had some good games. I think that's going to be what it's going to be this year. They don't have a ton of depth at receiver. They have a couple rookies actually.
Yes, Treylon Burks, and which
Phillips.
that was a decent pickup by Andrew. He picked up Phillips. He could be useful.
Great pickup.
And he got him for free, so that was pretty nice. Anyways, that'll conclude our worryometer section. Let's move on to reviewing some of the matchups. So I just wanted to quickly review 4, just kind of quickly touch on them, and then each of us will kind of do a deep dive on our favorite or what we thought was a pretty big matchup. So obviously I'm going to start with my nice big win over Way She Goes, 131-102. Decent little win for me. Did that one hurt, Winter?
You know what? I'm happy I got it out of the way early. I mean, I was hoping to start 1-0, but then I saw who I was against, and I was like,
But the real question is, what hurt more? When Charlie beat you in fantasy football or fantasy baseball in the same week?
I mean, the week started off with him saying, "Well, I hope I beat you in at least one of the 2 fantasy leagues." And then by the end of it, I was just crushed.
Yeah, when I saw Justin Jefferson popping off in the afternoon game, I was like, "Oh my god, I think I'm gonna be okay." Sorry about that one. Then we had, let's see here. So, Finkel is Einhorn. He kind of walloped Wally World pretty decently, 95-78.
Mm-hmm. I was a little surprised actually, because I think Wally has a pretty solid team this year, and Steve's team needs some help at running back at least. But he won, so what do I know? He's 1-0 and I'm 0-1.
I heard rumors that someone is trying to make a trade with him to give him a running back. Did you hear about that?
Zero idea what you're talking about. Side note, if anyone's open to trading, I am full on open.
Side note.
Completely unrelated.
We had Shane taking down Gavin 93-90. That was pretty huge because it came down to Monday night. That was a huge win. I thought Gavin had that one locked up.
Shane was pretty fired up, so that was nice to see. Beat his nemesis in Gavin.
Wait a minute. Isn't Shane kind of tilting a bit? Yet he's trying to make some trades, but he just had a big win.
He just likes to make trades, man. I get it.
And then the other matchup that we aren't going to do a deep dive on is Bryce and that's next week. Oops. Whoa, where am I here? Actually, Bryce.
You were correct.
Taken down by Andrew. Andrew just crushed him.
Dominated.
100 to 73. So
started good for Drew on Thursday with Stephon Diggs. So,
and then he didn't look back, eh?
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, it looks like Bryce no one really showed up for him.
It's hard to judge David Montgomery because of the football game, so it's hard.
Bryce is relying on CeeDee Lamb and Ezekiel Elliott.
Yes,
so
yes.
He's the one that was puking when he saw that Dax.
And he started Kadarius Toney, who only saw the field like 6 times.
Oof. Yeah, that was a little bizarre. Okay, so let's do a little dive in on DeAndre the Giant, who beat Captain Cook. So the two new teams faced off, the expansion teams, and DeAndre the Giant kind of crushed Captain Cook. What do you think of that, Winter?
I mean, this was a cool matchup. I honestly like both their teams. They have a lot of cool pieces, both of them. Like, it's a little bit. Some guys like Najee Harris only giving you 6 or 9 points. It hurts a little bit. My boy Marquise Hollywood Brown could have given you 12 points. Isn't too bad. Like Cortland Sutton, I think he was probably hoping for a little bit more out of him. But I mean, at the end of the day, Dak Prescott is getting hurt kind of kills your week, right? So
yes, yeah, you need your quarterback to get you at least like 15 points to survive.
I know all about that. I mean, I started Aaron Rodgers, so
anytime you get 5 points from your quarterback, you can pretty much chalk it up to an L.
Although DeAndre the Giant only got 11 points basically from Trey Lance.
That's true.
True.
But they had Saquon, so it didn't matter.
Yeah,
and DeAndre. It was there. Yeah, their running backs dominated.
Cool matchup. I like both of their players. What do their benches look like? I mean, Captain Cook has Tyler Boyd. He's got a little bit more appeal for this week coming up. I like that. Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, he was a bit of a target hog in that one.
Yeah. It's intriguing. You know, I like Garrett Wilson. Obviously, I love D-Hop.
Long-term play.
I like the Giants team a lot. I just like a lot of their players. Like, I was going after so many of them. Obviously, D-Hop. I like Garrett Wilson. Trey Lance is cool.
It's that two-headed monster of Barkley and Swift that's looking really scary. That's what concerns me with DeAndre the Giant. Like they could be tough to beat. They could be very tough to beat. Yeah, they crushed. So they are making a name for themselves. You know what? They deserved it because I don't think anyone took the draft more seriously than those two. So
they were in a corner by themselves.
Oh yeah, they were.
It was intense.
They were definitely conspiring. I don't think they talked about anything else other than fantasy football in that 2 hours for that draft. Like they were so.
I love that.
Me too. Goals. I love it.
It's intimidating.
Yeah. They really want a Barkley. Oh my God! Imagine they get a Saquon Barkley jersey at the end of the year. Would that just break your heart, Kyle?
All right, I'm gonna head out, guys.
Okay, so Kyle, you wanted to do a little deep dive on the matchup between Perry and Riley.
To the most underwhelming matchup of the week, based on both of their teams disappointing, but one of them had to win.
Yep.
They both have some actually pretty decent teams. Riley got hit with some injury problems with Mitchell. Derrick Henry, for some reason, couldn't run on the Giants, who have no linebackers, but I loved it. But overall, it was a fair matchup, like even. It came down to the wire. It was just underwhelming, completely 80 to 78. You don't see that very often. They probably would have lost to any other team, but luckily they played each other. They were a match made in heaven. It's just fun to see those kind of things sometimes. With low-scoring games, there's something nice about it.
Yeah, especially when you win.
Really counts. Like, remember, like back in the day, we had played in Gavin's Brothers League, where games finished like 25 to 26.
Oh man,
and it was such a grind. But man, did those points have you fired up for every single point you got?
That's a really good point. I was shocked that Riley pulled out the win because Perry had Rashad Penny and Melvin Gordon
Yeah.
both playing on Monday night, and they were both like the main guy in the fourth quarter. The Broncos were actually using Gordon more than Javonte in the second half. And I was thinking, wow, Perry has this in the bag. And then it just didn't happen.
Did he fumble early in the game, Gordon, or in the fourth?
I think he fumbled late in the game.
Oh, that hurts even more. So the fumble might have lost him the game.
Gordon. The ball is out and recovered by Seattle. Seattle takes over at their 10 as they get a stop, and the ball recovered by Michael Jackson. Gordon was awfully close to getting that ball in for the touchdown, and for now it's ruled a fumble, and the recovery by Jackson. Let's look again.
So really it was like an 8-point turn of events there, right? Because they lost 2 points and they also didn't get the 6 points for a touch. That's crazy.
That's wild, yeah.
So poor Perry. I thought Perry should have won, I think.
That's why I wanted to highlight this match, just because it was so tight in the end. And that's what I kind of wanted to focus on.
Yeah. It's funny. I was with Riley on Football Sunday, and you should have heard the hate that he was throwing at Jarvis Landry. He was so
the second best player.
Yeah, and it turns out he checks his phone at the end of Sunday night. And he goes, "Oh wow, Jarvis Landry really put it together for me." I'm like, "Yeah, he did," but I mean, he was not happy, and I was laughing at this week. Jarvis Landry is planted firmly in his bench, so no respect even after a week.
One him a week, crazy.
And also, it looks like Perry made if he made a couple roster changes, he would have won, right? Jamal Williams, got a couple more points.
But it was kind of hard to start Jamal Williams. You didn't actually know how that he was going to be that involved.
No, I think he started the right guys.
Yeah,
it sucks when you look back. Actually, no, wait, he started 2 tight ends. That's
two tight ends.
Strategy.
Oh, interesting.
Wow, I didn't notice that until right now.
Yeah, me either. Such a
Although I like Freiermuth. The Muth is loose.
The Muth is loose.
All right, so I'm going to touch on the last deep dive matchup, which was between the Shit Take Poo and Action Jackson. Holy moly. It was looking Joe Burrow kind of did more than he should have in the end.
He threw 4 interceptions. I was ready to chuck him off my balcony if he was here. I was texting Charlie, cussing him.
He also fumbled, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Mess. Yeah. Steelers defense really got to him. Our O-line did not look as good as it should have with all the upgrades, but
love it. You got to get in there and play some center next week. Maybe help out Joe.
I did say hours so naturally there. Oh my god. But yeah, this is a huge win for Shit Take Boo because he's had a lot of down years, obviously, and then you had a down year last year. So I thought this was a big matchup because it's kind of like who is gonna resurrect themselves from last year, and I think Shit Take Poo might have a better team than they've had in years past. I know we're all worried about Cam Akers, and that could hurt him. But Javonte Williams, he had 14.3 points, but he looked really good. And I think that Broncos will just use him more and more as it moves, as we move forward. Allen Robinson, I think, is going to be better as the year progresses. Devontae Adams was a monster. Patty Mahomes looked insane. I know Arizona's defense didn't show up, but he could be the Patty because Mahomes looked a bit off last year, right? Remember the first half of the year, he was, I don't know, very missing a lot of passes, and it was bizarre. So he looks focused, to say the least.
And Christian Kirk, clearly the number 1 receiver there.
Yes, that's a good grab. He had 117 receiving yards in his first game with Jacksonville. So,
nice.
I think we all expect. Oh my God, I'm blanking. Who's their quarterback? Trevor Lawrence. I think we all expect him to be a bit more useful this year. But Kyle, I think as I said, I thought you had the best. I thought you drafted really well. So I think you had an unfortunate week.
The downfall was the Chicago game.
Oh, that was just brutal.
Yeah. If without the rain, I doubt Mooney puts up 1 point.
Yes.
But it's fine. We'll bounce back, or I'll keep losing. Who knows?
How you feeling about Breece Hall?
I'm going to fire that guy into my starting lineup every week because eventually he's going to get the carries.
I
He's so
Even though-
talented.
Even though you talked all that smack about Pierce, I will second your love for Brees Hall. I know
Yes, thank you.
he's significantly better, yes, but I mean they're both rookie running backs on bad teams.
Yes.
So fire him in there. I mean, I will say this: like looking at Shiitake Spew's bench, there's not a lot to like there. It's getting a little thin.
Yeah, it looks like you guys started the right players. I would say what killed your week, I thought, was Kyle Pitts, because he had quite a few targets, and he was definitely, because I did some of the deep diving there. Was like on like every snap, so he ran a lot.
I'm worried about Kyle Pitts.
I wouldn't be worried at all. I'm just saying he should have performed better. Like it's more on the quarterback for not giving him the ball, I think. Anyways, I thought that was a big win for Shit Take Poo, but I wouldn't say you're in any trouble, Kyle. I think that's going to be Joe Burrow's worst game of the year, and he had 22
I think so,
points. So,
and I play Riley this week, so
Kyle, the league should take notice.
He's probably going to start Mike Davis, so you're in good shape.
I hope he starts Mike Davis. He's actually starting Michael Carter currently, which is kind of fun. Michael Carter versus Brees Hall, Jesus.
Ooh, that is fun.
Would you consider starting Joshua Palmer at all?
I don't.
With
I don't think so.
No.
The thing is, I actually like my entire bench too. Like, there's a lot of players I actually want to get in my lineup. I just can't fathom taking out players like Mooney again. I don't think he'll ever put up a bad week like that again. He's clearly going to be the number one option there. Just the weather was disastrous. It's hard for me to take him out. But he's the only guy I'd pivot out of that spot, I think.
Yeah, that makes
right
sense.
now, I have some pretty tough matchup decisions here to make.
You have so many useful wide receivers.
I know.
That's going to be your toughest call every week, I think.
And I added on to adding Samuel too, right?
Oh my God, you did. What
and
are you
Jeff
doing?
Wilson. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just stockpiling good players, and hopefully, you guys.
It's a good problem to have.
My name.
That's the way to do it.
I have the answers you guys need. Just give me your best players.
Oh my God! Well, you heard that, league. Everyone, make a creative style.
I like that.
Well, I guess that'll do it for this podcast. That was, as always, I was timing things, trying to make sure we went in order. But Winter, I was talking to Winter during our downtime between pod, like when we had that little bit of a technical issue, and he was saying he likes it when they're long. He just puts it on. He's doing his work or whatever. He puts it on in the background, and he has no complaints. So that made me feel a bit better when we drag on a bit longer.
Love it.
Yeah. I mean, I was telling him, when I see like a 20-minute pod, I get a bit disappointed. I want to be pushing that 45-minute mark.
Ooh, okay.
Well, this one's pushing. Looks like 50. So
yep,
you'll be a happy boy. But I guess you kind of heard it. So
happy boy. Oh my God. Also, I guess after 1 week, what do you guys? We'll close on this. What do you guys think with the expansion? Does it feel any different? How did it feel after 1 week with 14 teams rather than 12?
I like that. I do like that there's 14 teams. I think it's just a big adjustment to everyone with the limited bench size. It's going to be a big factor once the bye weeks start, and you need a backup quarterback, you need a backup tight end. So it's going to get really probably transaction heavy, and people are going to have to make decisions they don't want to make just so they can roster a team.
That is going to. I was thinking about that the other night. I was like for instance, your team, right? You love your bench. But then it's going to be a bye week where you're going to have to replace your tight end. Like, do you pick up a
Luckily, Kyle Pitts' bye week is in week 14, so I don't have to worry about that for a while.
Okay,
and then I could have sold my whole team. Who knows?
I looked ahead, and my week 14 is scary. Like, all of my starters are on bye. I'm gonna just concede.
So can you change the schedule so I play Matt in week 14?
I think that's the last week. Is that the last week before playoffs?
Oh my God.
I think it is, yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, let's see who I play in week 14.
Depending on where you are, Kyle, if you're at the bottom of the barrel, you might just throw that week so you get a top draft pick, and then I'm going to expand again and ruin it.
There's no point in me thinking. You're just going to make me be bad anyways.
Go to 16 teams, guys.
On top of everything, isn't the last week rival week too?
Yes. Oh my
no.
God.
I'm playing Jordan Perry in week 14, and I'm projected to get 61 points.
Oh, good luck. Wow. Oh, I take on Shit Take Poo next week. I just noticed that. That could be scary.
I hope he
Anyways.
beats you. I mean, good luck.
Oh, I know. I got a bullseye on my back because of Mr. Winter over there.
I haven't said a single thing.
I know you've been very tame, but I can feel it. I just coming up.
So he's invited back.
The minute I said anything about Justin Jefferson, I could just feel you being like, "Shut up."
It's Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. It's like, ugh. Keeping me up at night. I can't. I don't even want. Change the subject.
Well, that was a lot of fun, guys. I hope everyone listening enjoys, and let's all enjoy the game tomorrow night. That's going to be a barn burner, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
What's the over under for that one? Do you guys know? That should be like 52 or something pretty high.
It's probably in the 50s. I'm not sure what it is.
But we'll see.
I haven't
We'll see.
bet in a while, so
Get your free bets in, boys. Let's go.
I guess the Chargers have a better defense, so it'll be interesting to see if Mahomes is truly, going to be as dominant as he was.
we will find out.
Where's the game?
All right.
Arrowhead?
Ooh, I don't know. Great question. I don't know.
We're not prepared for these kind of hard-hitting questions.
We don't know football. Anyways, good pod, guys. Hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for coming on, Winter. I'd like to do this with you again. This is
Let's do it.
It's kind of fun.
Awesome.
Three voices. I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
I had a blast. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. All right, see you guys.
Bye.